was at the Chamber pay-per-view, but they definitely mentioned it on.
So like, Angels.
So it's been acknowledged, people. You're all just
Lady Victoria and
well, Jumping Bomb Angels were champs. There were only 5. Who was the last one? I don't remember. Wasn't it? Oh, jeez, gotta look it up. The last one, yeah, Glamour Girls was the last one.
Yeah.
And then they just abandoned the title. And Glamour Girls, I mean, they were 2-time champs. They were the only other combo because Velvet McIntyre held it twice with 2 different partners, and then yeah, it was 2 Velvet McIntyre teams, Glamour Girls, Jumping Bomb Angels, and then Glamour Girls again. So,
well, let me tell you this: 4 of the 5 titles were at house shows.
Yeah.
So. And
the inaugural Royal
title,
Rumble, yeah.
The titles lasted from 83 to 89, so they didn't care. They did not care.
Yeah, a lot of combined days, a lot of long reigns, but that's also because they weren't doing really anything with them.
Nope.
So, all right, I have to answer Russell's question here in the chat. Has there ever been a such thing as a chicken shit face? Yes. His name was Santino Marella. That was the first one I thought of, and he was brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah, you could. You could totally do chicken shit babyface.
You can do like Mikey Whipwreck, kinda.
Mikey Whipwreck, yeah.
Mikey Whipwreck's a good one too. Yeah. Oh man, he was probably the best example. I think he was probably the best chicken shit babyface in the history of chicken shit babyfaces.
You could argue that Spike Dudley was when he was face.
WWF Spike Dudley, not so much. Oh no, I guess LSD was kind of. I guess.
But yeah, but then he eventually, he started beating big men, and then that was when he started being like, oh, I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
Colin Delaney, who, redacted, literally had a pizza party when he was released.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't mean Benoit. That's not the redacted we're referring to. We're referring to,
Ugh.
For newer listeners, this is the guy we've mentioned him on past episodes. Sorry. Anyway, Sasha and Bayley are the champs, and I saw in the spoily section for future NXTs that they do appear on NXT to make it clear that they are going across all 3 brands, which was the original plans for the titles moving forward, so they're actually following through with that, and I'm very satisfied with that.
Yep.
And the actual emotion from the 2 of them was legitimate, and listening to, Beth Phoenix and Renee Young start to cry on commentary was awesome. It meant so much to everybody involved, and there are people online that are just picking it apart. So, I've said it before, everybody's entitled to their opinions, and critiques are always welcome, but some people critique stuff that's just so stupid.
People critique stuff that don't need critiquing.
You know, it's been like whenever I see the stupid political stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, you guys realize that our planet is the only thing that currently has life that we know, and there's X amount of galaxies. Because I'm a big space nerd. I'm like, you guys are arguing about shit so insignificant right now. When I'm watching all these videos on YouTube, what is the furthest galaxy out there?
If people spent a quarter of their time doing anything other than complaining about what some political person, some celebrity, some whatever were doing and worrying about their own lives, there'd be literally nothing for people to post about. So people just need to chill the fuck out.
Indeed. Well said. Well said. All right, so moving on to the other matches. Did you know you can get arrested the weekend of a pay-per-view and be rewarded with a tag team championship match? Not just that, but you get the titles. Well, if you're Jimmy Uso, that is the case.
Seems to be the case with the Usos this whole time, because it was a year or 2 ago where Jay got busted and they retained their titles that weekend.
I also liked the first time Jimmy got busted was right before the Royal Rumble. So for that year's Royal Rumble, they only put in Jay. So when Jay came out, Jimmy was running next to him in street clothes, egging him on. And it's oh, well, we know which one's being punished because one's not getting the payday for working the show. One's not getting the
Oh
bonus.
no, he still showed up on screen, so he gets paid something.
So yeah, that's the good old Usos defeated the Miz and Shane McMahon, the best tag team, right after Miz announced that Maurice is pregnant again.
Yep.
Is this how soon? Is this
she wasn't
Irish
showing.
Twin? Is this Irish twin territory?
No. That's like when the kids literally like 10 months older.
Because my
yeah,
brother,
it's like within 18 months. They're born within 18 months of each other.
two of my brothers are. They're 11 months apart.
Yeah,
That's fucking quick. When you have 18-month period between births, being 11 months apart, damn.
My brother Keith and my brother Kevin. Keith was born Kevin was born first December 17th, 88. Keith December 1st, 89. So
crazy.
Yep.
That's cray.
And then my following brother beyond that, he was born in 91. So it was like there were no breaks between my four brothers. They're all back to back to back to back.
I've got a pair of coworkers. They're twin brothers, and they were born like 10-something years after their next sibling, and like because they're a year older than me, so they're 35, and all their siblings are in their 40s, and they're like, oh yeah, we were surprises. I'm like, yeah, not only was your mom surprised when she realized she was going to have one, she had two.
Yep.
That's a big surprise. Big
Yeah.
old surprise. But so about the Usos here. Oh man.
I mean, it is what it is.
Well, what's funny is I've also heard stories that Naomi and were intentionally trying to get fired, which is why Jimmy squared up in the first place.
Well, there are rumors that the Usos want to leave WWE.
So, I have a feeling this was a power move to keep them happy, while also simultaneously punishing them because Naomi was also the makeshift team. I figured that was going to be the first one eliminated, but the timing is just kind of weird. And the Carmella thing had legs at first, with the whole quote-unquote affair with Corey Graves that leaked, until we started hearing the real stories. And people are like, well, here's the thing about that. Graves has been separated from his wife for a while. They were keeping it quiet, and as soon as he revealed to her that he was seeing somebody, she went nuts and tried to air all the dirty laundry and make it about her. And then you go back and you read all those like screenshotted texts from Graves, and once you know the context, you're like, well, that explains why he's not sweating any of this.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how real that is or whatever, and it ain't my business. But
in my book, it's still a bit scummy on their part, but
It is, but then it's not if they've truly been apart for so long.
but they're also still technically married. See, that's a me versus the world thing.
Because I worked with years ago, I worked with a couple that they were both going through divorces at the same time, but neither of them could afford the divorce, so they were living separately from their others. Because you have to like live apart for 5 years or something before you can get a divorce without actually having to pay for a divorce.
Hmm.
But they were, the two of them were dating because they could. It's like, I'm not living with anybody anymore. I'm not with my husband or my wife anymore. So I have the ability to date.
I know a lot of people who separated who were still dating before the divorce was actually finalized. I think that's almost in a way expected because it does take a lot to finalize a divorce.
Yeah.
So they're not easy, and I'm happy. I am in a happy marriage right now, and there are no extraneous circumstances that could cause my divorce. As I sheepishly look around the room. None that I'm causing, but I trust her. I know she's not. So I have no plans to get divorced anytime soon. Plus, what would happen to the cats? Can't do that. You gotta stay together to benefit for the cats.
Stay together for the cats.
Exactly. But no, in all seriousness, like, when it first came out, yeah, it sounded like a really scummy bitch move going on, but then the newest news was like, oh, well, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just normal.
Well, here's the thing. It's a matter of perspective. If you want to think it's scummy, that's fine. You can. If you don't care, again, doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, it's their lives. So the only crappy circumstance about it is that they're public people.
Yes.
You know, so...
And that somebody got jilted enough to make it even more public.
Yeah, which, if she really does have any kind of mental instability, then there you go. She's gonna make that stuff public, and once it's out there, it's out there. So, But you could tell just based on the way they did the pay-per-view and then did Raw and SmackDown that there's no heat on Graves. He's still calling matches like it is. The memes are great. And the rumor was that Shane and Miz were going to wrestle each other at WrestleMania, and they're clearly starting to set that up. So,
yes, they are.
Everything falling into place there.
At Fastlane, vroom, vroom, vroom.
Oh, yes. Indeed. We have a new Intercontinental Champion.
Finally.
And it went down exactly the way Glenn and I said it would. Finn was going to take out Leo Rush. That's exactly what happened, and I could not be happier.
Nope, I couldn't either, because Finn beyond deserved this.
Yes, and you can say whatever you want. He should be the world champ or whatever, but this is still an impressive title to hold with its lineage. Talking about lineage again, here's a title with actual lineage.
This is a Hall of Famer's title.
This is the workers' belt.
Oh yeah,
pretty much anybody who holds this title ends up as a Hall of Famer.
I mean,
Finn's the workers' champ.
Not to be in the Attitude Era, it was not the workers' title.
No,
it was the hey, here, have this for a couple weeks title.
Yeah, well, but in the Attitude Era, titles were props.
I mean, once upon a time, this was the title that labeled you as the number one contender.
Right.
You know, you held this before you held the world title. I mean, look at the
Intercontinental Champion.
The Ultimate Warrior did it. Macho Man did it. You know, lots of people held this title as the prestigious. Yes, I am now number one contender.
Hey, remember when the Intercontinental title main evented WrestleMania?
Damn Skippy, I do. That was one of my favorite matches.
Probably the best Warrior match of all time.
Probably one of the best Hogan matches of all time too.
It wasn't even for the Intercontinental title, you son of a bitch.
It was title for title.
It was there.
Both titles were on the line.
But yes, we finally have Finn as Intercontinental Champion, and that's awesome. And I hope he gets a great WrestleMania opponent and busts out some demon.
I hope he gets a WrestleMania opponent. Having an undercard title does not guarantee you a WrestleMania match.
Nope.
For about 20 years now, almost.
The rumors are saying no demon, but...
Well, he didn't win it as a demon, right? So...
No, he won it as Finn the Human.
But who knows?
All right, 2 crappy matches come up now. The only reason Rousey and Ruby was crap was because it was super short.
But they did have a better match to follow Monday night.
They had a great match Monday night. They had the match they should have had for the pay-per-view. And Ruby Riott looked great in that match. Of course, you know, they've got the whole thing going, and check those rumor mills because there's still a chance Charlotte won't be involved in that match. It's all speculation, and there's a big rumor that they're only doing this to get this, guys. You're never gonna believe this. They're doing it to work the people. And we're still getting Becky versus Ronda as scheduled with no Charlotte. So, just saying, guys, until you actually see how it goes out, you got to hold off some of those opinions because people just been flying off the handle.
I love it when WWE just does stuff to piss off most of the fans.
I'm just of the opinion that I am sick of Charlotte. Period.
Yeah, you're not the only one. That's a very popular opinion.
and we've made